what's trending. The former chief whip of the Senate, ndume, has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address the planned nationwide protest over economic hardship using dialogue. Ndume gave the advice on Monday ahead of the planned protest billed for August 1st across the country. Well, according to the lawmaker, talking with the organizers, who are predominantly young people, would help douse the intention and avert the planned demonstrations.
My fear is, in most cases, looking at what happened during the NSAS, I hope it doesn't get out of hand. And more especially when we cannot identify the leadership. That makes it more difficult because there is a need before strike. Even Labour that went on strike severally, they normally issue out warning. Now we only see the warning to go on strike. We don't know who are the faces.
All right, Ali Ndume here is saying we don't know who are the faces. I missed your conversation earlier, but I know we discussed this, the presidency attacking the supporters of Peter Obi, saying that they are the ones behind this nationwide protest, which, you know, there are a lot of reasons to condemn in mass protests, because obviously what happened during the NSAS was not good. But, you know, his comment aligns also with that of the Nigeria Labour Congress. The NLC, in a statement on Monday, appealed to President Tinubu to dialogue with the leaders of the planned demonstration, saying that Tinubu should invite the leaders of the planned protests and listen to their grievances. I also loved your comment about this podcast. I've never been on Twitter Spaces. I loved that comment earlier. But I think that it is what needs to be done. Yeah. Dialogue. I respect the NLC. I respect Ali Ndume. We need to dialogue, but you cannot blame Nigerians that want to come out to protest. Sure. There is hardship in the land. We have seen a lot of videos. In fact, one of them is a viral video showing, I believe it was the chairman of the Nigerian Association of Refrigerator and Air Conditioner Practitioners, Jobi Oluwarotomi, lamenting over the half bag of rice reportedly given to him by the federal government to share with more than 300 practitioners in Ondo State. Let's look at that video really quickly.
A few days ago, I was called upon that the state government or federal government or whatever, I don't know which one I can call it, that they are distributing palliatives. I should come and receive for my members. I was speechless when I got there. Come and see what I saw. Can you see by yourself? Can you see this is maize? This is maize. Can you see it? Can the whole world see it? And this is rice. I want to tell you that we even paid for this. They collected money to convey this. And this quality you are seeing here is for a member that is almost about 300 practitioners under me in Akure South and Akure North. And I don't know how I will go about this, giving it to them. I just want to appeal to the state government and even the federal government. They should please leave us alone. We don't want all this issue of food palliative to be distributed again. This is cruel. This is purely inhuman. This is wickedness. They should please leave us alone. I
mean, we did take that story where the federal government said that they were going to distribute 20 trucks of rice to say, I mean, is this what's happening in Ondo State? I believe the governor should this is what we are saying. This is what we were saying that day. We were saying that this should not go to some sort of constituency project and, you know, to these party members. And we are saying this young man here, I mean, we need to investigate that video because it is quite viral. Rufai.
Oji.
Yes.
Why are you surprised? Yeah. You are distributing 20 bags of rice, 20 trucks of rice
1,200
per state.
4,000 per
state,
yeah.
If you take that fry, 20 trucks of rice to Aja Junction, they will share it in less than 5 minutes. When they did the reports, some people did the calculation. It came down to 1/6 of a paint bucket of rice. People will literally get, when you pack rice in their hand like this and give it to them. That's what they will get. It's so mega. That's what some people have started the idea of. Why don't you give them food stuff where they can buy the cheaper price in the markets? Or you can also help them in such a way that you give them the money in their pockets. Because this thing, it will never be up to. There's no how. Are you surprised? When they shared palliative in Lagos, you see the bread, they were sharing bread for people that time. Cutting bread. People were throwing the food away. Yeah. Now what kind of work is, you can't compare to the palliative they share in other parts of the world. It will never be enough. And a lot of that food will be lost to logistics. It will be a lot to carry. You heard what he said. They even paid for money to carry the trucks and things like that. So I think a conditional cash transfer, they have everybody's bank details. Alerts, Nigerians like alerts. Even if it's 33K or 44K, bang, bang, in people's account, This will go a long way. You know, with that money, they can go into buy mama put, buy small food in the market, and even if it's a meal a day. Yeah. I mean, but it's never going to be enough.
Yeah, right. We're seeing interventions, though. We are seeing that the federal government is making strides to help alleviate this sort of poverty that we're experiencing. You know, in the meantime, the federal government has released 438 billion naira to 34 states and the Federal Capital Territory for the Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus Program, NG Cares. The program's development objective is to expand access to livelihood, support and food security services, and grants for poor and vulnerable households. The program is also a results intervention program where states and FCT invest their resources in line with agreed protocols and get reimbursed by the federal government after an independent verification exercise. I would love to, show how much the states are getting, because I think this is also a way that I try to make sure that the federal government, are doing what they're supposed to do for the states. I believe Zamfara earned about 49 billion, Nasarawa 27 billion, Plateau 26 billion, Gombe 25 billion, Kebbi 21 billion, and Cross River 20 billion. I mean, and the list goes on. Femi, Adefemi, quickly on this particular issue of federal government's intervention and all of that.
Right. To some extent, I think it should be welcomed and should be applauded, because if we're talking about interventions, if you're talking about not wanting people to take to the streets and protest next month, which is just a week away, then there has to be a viable alternative there. So I do think it should be applauded, but I do think that this is now time, it is high time for Nigeria to create a feasible welfare state. It is more than us saying and identifying that there is poverty in the land, there's a cost of living crisis, it's more than palliatives, it's more than this disbursement of money. It has to be a strategic and long-term attachment towards making sure that people's financial needs are met. So I do agree with you. Some form of a welfare payment, whether it's weekly or monthly, will go a long way in addressing this type of problem.
We see that in developing countries as well. Yes, we have it in America. It's called food stamps.
Even social security. In the UK, exactly. You get vouchers in the
So NG Cares is actually
it's a World Bank supported
loan, and it is the
credit portfolio.
Yes, and it's the loan that's come after COVID-19. So the excess of it, and it's it, and that's why I asked the question earlier as to, we should also ask states questions, because truthfully, as part of interventions, the federal government has released some funds to the state governments to be able to meet the needs of the people. Even though I'm still of the opinion that it should still be trickled down to the local governments, because they're the ones who are closest in touch with the people. One of the things is CNG buses as well. Federal government gave state government money for CNG, to promote CNG buses and conversion. What has happened to the money? Because people need to start asking those questions. It's great to see these numbers. It's great to see some states, if we check, have given accounts as to what they did. There was different projects across different states. What have they done with the money? If people are not feeling the impact, even if we keep announcing these billions of naira, they will still protest, because it's not about the announcement on TV or the press releases. It is it getting to my stomach? Is it getting to my table? And you saw the Ondo State man talk about the fact that, look at the rice. So if you're releasing all this amount of money and what is getting to my pocket is one handful of rice, of course I'm still going to protest. It's a drop in the ocean. So that's what the challenge is. Let us probe. We see these huge amounts of money being announced. What were those amounts used for? Who is responsible, and why are the people not feeling the impact?
Absolutely. Dialogue and interventions are great to avoid this protest. Nigeria will be great.
Amen. No, and we enjoy the greatness of Nigeria.
Absolutely. Well, now let's